Yeah, so my pickleball story. Before I took the job at Pictona as the events and assistant manager, I was an assistant manager at Sherwin-Williams, paint store down on A1A. And we used to do our bank drop in the evenings after we closed the store. We would do our bank drop at the Bank of America. It was next to the Publix. And right behind there was McElroy Park. It's a really nice park. It has, I think, 12 pickleball courts, a little oval with a walking track and a dog park in the back. And at the time, I didn't have a car. I was riding an electric bike every day. And so I'd do the bank drop. And then I would cut through the park and go to Peninsula and ride back up the street home. And there was never anybody there. And to be honest, I just assumed that they were tennis courts for the longest time. There weren't any lights, so we would do, it would be 7:30, 8 o'clock most nights when we were doing the bank drop, so there wouldn't be anybody there. And then I noticed one week they were installing lights, and so a couple of weeks later the lights were up and they're on, and I'm doing the bank drop, and as I cut through the park, there are people playing on the courts, and then I hear the sound, right? The sound of somebody hitting a pickleball, and you're like, well, that's obviously not tennis. So I go over there and I have a look, and there's this group of guys playing. And I don't know what level they were. They were probably like 3 O's or 3 5s, but they may as well have been Olympic players at that point for me because obviously I'd never seen pickleball before. And I'm watching them play, and they were playing pretty aggressively. And I watched just a couple points, and I was like, that is for me. I want to play that game. I come from a long background of playing very high level softball, collegiately and internationally. Played third base, so the hot corner, if you like. So I really like that aspect of quick reflexes. There was obviously a lot of strategy going on, and I loved that it was doubles on a small court because I'm not much of a runner or covering ground, but I'm quick and I can read and anticipate really well. And I knew that that was the game for me. That I would love playing it. That I could probably be okay at it, if not good. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching them play, and I look up and the sign above the court says, no skateboarding, pickleball play only. I'm like, okay, I don't know what pickleball is, but we're going to find out. So get on my bike, I go home, open the laptop, go to Google, type in pickleball. I spent the next 5 or 6 hours watching YouTube videos of these amazing professional athletes. Like, who would have thought, like, there was a whole pro league? And I knew it was something when I watched Anna Lee Waters, 12 years old at the time, playing 50-year-old men and beating them, like absolutely just destroying them, and just so athletic. And you could see that these tournaments were already set up. There were sponsors, so I knew that this was a theme based on my previous athletic experience, and I was like, I want to be a part of this. I want to learn how to play. I want to see how good I can get. There's an opportunity to go play in tournaments and go do all those things, and that was really appealing to me. I wanted to do that. So I brought my first set of paddles that night. It's the set of 4 wooden paddles. I spent like $20, whatever. And then for the next month or two, made my wife and my friends, we went to our little local courts, and I watched all the videos to learn all the rules and the scoring so I could teach them how to play. But they weren't into it as much as I was. So eventually I did upgrade my paddle, got a nicer paddle, and then this would have been probably early October. I had a Friday off, which was really unusual because I worked almost every Friday. And I was like, I think I'm just going to go down to the courts and see, because I saw in the evenings that there were people playing, but there weren't that many people. And I went down on a Friday morning. It was a pretty nice day. And there must have been almost 100 people at the courts. And I was like, what is going on? Like, you just don't see this at a community park, people doing this athletic activity, and there's 80 to 100 people there. And so I parked my bike and I got my paddle out of my bag, and I went. There were some picnic tables in the center courts where the people were, and I just sat on the table and watched, because I didn't understand what was going on. It was obviously organized in some way, and there was some sort of system, but I didn't know anybody and I didn't know what was happening, so I was just watching. And a couple of people walked by and they said hello, and just kind of nodded and smiled. And then one lady walked by and gave her a nice smile and said, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Oh, hey." And she walked, and then she stopped, and she turned around and she came back, and she asked me. She said, "Are you looking to play?" And I was so excited that somebody talked to me that I was like, yes, I would love to play. I have no idea what's going on. And she just smiled and laughed and she said, just follow me. So we went down to the paddle rack and she explained to me the sort of the rotation. She asked me, how long I've been playing and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, well, you're going to want to start on this side of the courts. It's for beginners and people that are learning. And if you feel like that it's not high enough level, then just come over to the other side. It works the same way, but you'll find more competitive play over there. Um, and that was Mimi Cook, who at the time I didn't know was the president of the Daytona Beach Pickleball Club, which was the precursor to Pictona. And so we always laugh now. Mimi was integral in me interviewing for this job and helping build the club. And we laugh now that I always say that she got me into pickleball because I played my first real game of pickleball that day with people who actually knew how to play and whatnot. And what was amazing about that experience, I've really enjoyed the athletic component. That's been fun. Everyone likes to grow in that way where something challenges them, but they feel like they can see themselves improving. But the thing that I really didn't expect was the people that I got to meet over the last 3 years or more of playing pickleball. Just this amazing community of people. And like I said, just the friendliest people. They're funny. They'll play with anyone really. Like any reason to get on the court and hit a ball around. And it's really changed my life. And I really think that pickleball is something that's so rare, especially as an adult, that allows you to be physically active in a socially positive way. I just think as many people should play as possible because it's amazing and we want them to be part of the community.